very good evening and welcome. This is News First, primetime news here on MTV Sports. I'm Ramesh Banda.
And I'm Krishna Panditharatna. We start off the news, the look at your headlines first.
Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu says that she will not allow Sri Lankan athletes to take part in the Asian Athletics Championship in Chennai. Cabinet approval given to introduce laws prohibiting the sale of private and state-owned lands to foreign nationals. Cabinet decides to allow students who were affected by the Z-score crisis in 2011 to sit for the advanced level examination for a fourth time.
The Cabinet of Ministers has decided to allow students who are affected by the Z-score crisis to sit for the GCE advanced level examination for a fourth time. Thereby, students who sat for the A-level examination for the third time in 2011 will receive this opportunity. Minister of Higher Education SP Dissanayake submitted this proposal to the Cabinet of Ministers. Thereby, the Cabinet of Ministers decided that students who sat for the exam for the third time could choose to sit for the A-level examination under the old or new syllabus. Students who could not sit for the A-level examination for the third time and students who sat for the examination for the third time have been given the opportunity to sit for the A-level examination in the 2013-2014 academic year.
Minister of Education Bandul Gunawardena, speaking at a media briefing today, said that a new syllabus will be introduced in May for the advanced level.
May මාසෙදී උසස් පෙළ විෂය ධාරාවට නව විෂය නිර්දේශයක් හඳුන්වා දීම සඳහා
The National Education Institute, the Minister of Education, the Minister of Youth Affairs and Skills Development and the National Education Commission are working expeditiously to introduce a new syllabus for the advanced level. In addition to the science, maths, commerce and arts streams, there will be a technology stream. Students who pass the GCE ordinary level examination this year will be able to start studies in this stream.
තාක්ෂණික විෂය ධාරාවක් උසස් මේ වර සාමාන්‍ය පෙළ සමත් වෙන සිසුන්ට ඉගෙනුම ආරම්භ කරන්න පුළුවන්කම තිබෙනවා.
The minister also said that changes will be made to the English language paper of the ordinary level examination.
අවුරුදු දෙකකට පසු එය විභාග දෙපාර්තමේන්තුව විසින්
After 2 years, we hope to award 10 points for speaking and listening skills for the English language. This will be similar to the practical exams conducted by the Department of Examinations for dancing and music.
ලකුණු 10ක් අවුරුදු දෙකකට පස්සේ සාමාන්‍ය පෙළ දරුවන්ට ලබා දෙන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා.
Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu Jayalalitha Jayaraam says that she will not allow any Sri Lankan sportsman to take part in the 20th Asian Athletics Championship scheduled to be held in Chennai. She says that the people of Tamil Nadu are not pleased with Sri Lankan sportsmen arriving in Tamil Nadu. Jayalalitha Jayaraam said she had submitted a letter to the IAF, the World Athletic Governing Body, in this regard and is awaiting a response. Jayalalitha Jayaraam had emphasized that she does not receive a positive response. She will not allow the 20th Asian Athletic Championship to be held in Chennai. At the Cabinet media briefing today, Cabinet spokesperson Minister Keheliya Rambukwella commented on the statement made by Jayaraam.
I will have to look into that. It is timely because when such issues are raised, there will be more pressure for us at the Human Rights Council.
මේ වගේ ප්‍රශ්න එනකොට අර හිට් එක එහෙම නැත්නම් අපිට ඒ තියෙන පීඩනය වැඩි කරනවා. ඒක අපි
Meanwhile, Indian President Pranab Mukherjee had said that the Sri Lankan government should take steps to ensure that the minority in Sri Lanka have a life of respect and equality. Speaking at the Indian Parliament, Mukherjee had emphasized that the Indian government is engaged in resettling the internally displaced persons in Sri Lanka.
The Russian ambassador to Sri Lanka, Alexander Karchava, says that his government will continue to support Sri Lanka in the future. He made this statement at a media briefing held in Colombo this afternoon.
A media briefing was held in Colombo today to mark the 56th anniversary of diplomatic relations between Russia and Sri Lanka. The media briefing was held at the Russian Centre in Colombo. A group including Minister Susil Premajanta and the Russian ambassador to Sri Lanka, Alexander Karchava, attended the media briefing.
This year, Russia is not the member of this council, Council or United Nations Council for Human Rights. This year session won't be too easy for Sri Lanka, and this is just reality which we have to face straightforwardly. But of course, Russia supports Sri Lanka by every possible and accessible way and means, and we are in very close contact with other countries who are members for this year, and we support Sri Lanka.
Two new electorate organizers appointed for Padiripur in Batiklo and Venapur in Puttlam were presented with appointment letters by President Mahinda Rajapaksa.
Shanakyan Rajaputran Rasamanikam was appointed as the Sri Lanka Freedom Party electorate organizer for Padiripur in Batiklo. Meanwhile, parliamentarian Arundika Fernando received his appointment letter as the chief organizer of the Venapur electorate in the Puttlam district.
Welcome back to the news. Now, News First met a group of individuals embarking on a perilous journey in the Ambalayagama area in Kobaigane. Villagers from Ambalayagama braved the surging waters of the Dadru Oya and even gambled with death to reach their destination.
The shortest route for residents of Ambalayagama to reach the Nikabaratia town lies across the Dadru Oya. If area residents do not use this route, they will have to travel a total distance of nearly 20 kilometers to reach the Nikabaratia town. However, the residents undertake this perilous journey across the Dadru Oya as the distance to Nikaratia on this route is only 4 kilometers.
There are days when there is no one to man the boat. Then someone has to swim to the other bank and tell someone to come over. The school is located on the other side of the Dadru Oya. When the waters are too high, we use a boat. If we cannot use the boat, we have to use the other road. We get late to go to school when we take this route.
There are many instances when area residents cross the Dadru Oya in the absence of a boat.
There is only a small boat here which transports school children on this. Sometimes the boat is carried downstream with the tide. We reach the opposite bank with great difficulty. People who have to go to work are also inconvenienced.
When we don't operate the boat, the children have no way of getting to school. We work tirelessly for these children. We also have to go to our workplaces. There is no way to do this when the water levels are high. We request officials to provide us with a bridge. However, a plaque which marks the laying of a foundation stone for the bridge which connects these two banks can be witnessed in the area.
News First, your life, our news.
United National Party parliamentarian Buddhika Pathirana raised a question in Parliament today on collecting money from students in schools.
Last Sunday, you and the President attended an event at Sujata Vidyalaya in Mathura. A sum of 350 rupees had been collected to pay in the school for the arrival of the President. You said that those who collect money in this manner will be interdicted. The President asked for attention to be focused on the incident where a student allegedly stole coconuts, but money was collected for an event. Will you take any action regarding this? It was said that measures will be taken immediately to issue a circular on collecting money. What is happening to it? The chief ministers of the provinces request for their ideas and the situation in the province to be taken into consideration when formulating a circular on the 28th. The Parliamentary Education Advisory Working Committee, which met yesterday, requested for the circular to be issued after informing the committee, without merely issuing a circular that is only formulated by officers. This will be discussed at the next committee meeting, for which you will also be present, and a circular that would be productive for the country will be formulated. Last week you said that it will be issued this week, but it's fine. Take adequate time and issue a proper circular. There have been circulars that were issued which allowed money to be collected. Will this circular be nullified? A single circular will be issued after combining all circulars. Speaking in Parliament today, UNP parliamentarian Sajid Premalasa drew attention to the lack of facilities at the Tissa Maharama Base Hospital. There are no theatre ventilation systems which are needed to minimize the spread of pathogens and water vapor. This creates a suitable atmosphere in the theatre. There is no anesthetic system and a wall oxygen medical gas system.
wall oxygen medical gas system.
This has been converted into a base hospital. Although major surgeries are not performed here, specialist doctors have gone to the villages. The main aim was to take the services of specialist doctors to the village. When will steps be taken to address these shortcomings? We cannot do everything at once. However, this hospital provides care for 300 OPD patients. Annually, about 16,000 to 20,000 patients obtain in-house treatment at this hospital. You spoke of the operating theatre. Its roof is not at the required standard. There are water leaks. The ceiling too is not up to standards. When animals urinate, it falls into the operating theatre.
Lamborghini parapurata koti ganan වෙන් කරන මේ මොහොතේ බඩගිනි පරපුර වෙනුවෙන් තිබෙන බඩගිනි පරපුර වෙනුවෙන් තිබෙන
Honorable Aswar raised the issue. Now Lamborghini parapura කියන්නේ the parliamentary word. කවුද කියන්නේ මේක අහන්න බෑ කියලා. Lamborghini parapura කියන්නේ මොකද්ද වැරදි?
There are no such shortcomings. If they are present, we can rectify them.
United National Party parliamentarian Sujiva Senasinghe says that certain reports have ranked Sri Lanka amongst the highest in the defence sector corruption. He made this observation during a debate in Parliament.
A study pointed Transparency International rank in Sri Lanka high on defence corruption. දැන් මේ ගැන කවුරුත් කතා කරන්නේ නැහැ, කතා කරන්න බයයි. මොකද්ද මේ කියන්නේ? Transparency International yesterday put Sri Lanka among countries that scored low on promoting accountability in multi-million-dollar defence transactions. Releasing a first-time study on global defence corruption that evaluates 82 countries, Sri Lanka is placed in band E among mortally of nations including Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq and Tunisia. මෙන්න ඔබතුමාලගේ යාළුවෝ ලිබියාවේ ලොක්කා ඉරානයේ ලොක්කා සිරියා වෙනිසුවාලේ මෙන්න ඔබතුමාලගේ යාළුවෝ අපේ දිනේෂ් ඇමතුමාලේම ඇරියානම් විදේශ ඇමතිලා කරලා ඔන්න එංගලන්තේ ජර්මනිය හොඳ රටවල් ගිහිල්ලා යාළු කරන්නේ ඉන්නේ. හැබැයි කවුද අරින්නේ? අර සචින් මාස් මහත්තයා අරනවා මන්ත්‍රී කෙනෙකුත් නෑ මන්ත්‍රී කෙනෙක් ඇමති කෙනෙක් නෙමෙයි. හැබැයි දැන් डी फैक्टो මිනිස්ටර් ෆොරින් මිනිස්ටර් එතුමා. ඉතින් මොන දැනුමක් ඇතුවද මෙතුමාලා ගිහිල්ලා කතා කරන්නේ පිටරට මේ රටවල් එක්ක. මේ සඳහන්ව ඇමතුමනි විශේෂයෙන්ම despite Sri Lanka scores low, so did 70% of the countries that were surveyed showing a seriousness of corruption in the defence sector. Despite emerging from a 3-decade war in 2009, the study pointed out that Sri Lanka weapons procurement and payment policies remain opaque.
Sandhya Eknalikoda, the wife of missing journalist Prageet Eknalikoda, handed over a letter to the United Nations office in Colombo today.
A group accompanied Sandhya Eknalikoda to hand over the letter to the UN office in Colombo. Sandhya Eknalikoda says that although it has been 1,124 days since the disappearance of her husband Prageet Eknalikoda, she has not received any information about him.
ඔබ දන්නවා අද ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ අග්‍රවිංශකාරයා වශයෙන් ඉන්නේ මොහන් පිරිස් මහත්තයා. ප්‍රගීත්ගේ අතුරුදහන් වීම සම්බන්ධයෙන්
Today, the Chief Justice of Sri Lanka is Mohan Piris. On the 9th of November 2011, he told the United Nations Committee Against Torture that Prageet was residing in another country. Up to date, he says that he cannot recall who told him that, and only God knows where Prageet is. One of the two statements has to be wrong. Either Mohan Piris had lied in Geneva or he's lying to us. How can I file a case in court today? Who is the head of the judiciary?
එක්කෝ මොහන් පිරිස් මහත්තයා ජිනීවා වලට බොරු කරලා තියෙනවා. එහෙම නැත්නම් අපිට බොරු කරනවා. මං අද ගිහිල්ලා උසාවියට ගිහිල්ලා කාත් එක්කද නඩු කියන්න වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. කවුද අධිකරණයේ ඉන්නේ නායකයා?